and we are a mixed bunch. There is a bookworm with a moldy taste. There is a family head who has been deprived of his family. A teacher who has lost ground. There is a game addict. There is a mother tiger with dictatorial tendencies with her 2 cubs. There is a born slob who immediately submits to everyone, has no opinion, and there is me, with my virtual grandfather. It is simply pathetic. I am ashamed. Don't be ashamed, said the machine. Rather forgive them for being who they are. In their own way, they will be heroes. Look at them that way, heroes, interrupted Kathleen. And forgive yourself in advance, because you are the only one who will arrive at Zega alive, continued the machine. What do you mean by that? Snapped Kathleen, horrified. 6 years ago, when I first spoke to you, I didn't tell you everything. I couldn't tell you everything. I told you about Zega then. About the wonders and tragedies of Zega. I talked about genetic compatibility, the rescue of Zega culture, the last great experiment of the Zega, the role of Earthlings. But I didn't mention a certain technical problem of the journey. According to the original plan, this problem would not have arisen, so we didn't work out a solution for it. What is this certain technical problem? We will soon reach the H corridor. It took us 6 years to get here, because Earth is unfortunately far from the network of H corridors. Zega is in a more fortunate place, near a corridor. By entering the corridor, a space jump becomes possible. After the jump, we will arrive on Zega a few days later. What will happen when we enter the H corridor? The jump can only be made while in hibernation. Yes, and our hibernators are designed for the H gene in Zigai. That means, Kathleen paled. Yes, the machine said in a deadpan tone. It means that only you will survive. And what about the others? Their bodies will also be preserved by the hibernator, in a state suitable for use in genetic experiments. Your task will be to create and raise the first generation of Earth Zigai from their body cells and the Zigai genetic samples stored at the Zigai receiving station. You will be their mother. Couldn't the hibernators be somehow reprogrammed? Kathleen asked, still a little hopeful. Unfortunately, it's impossible, the machine said. The whole process is based on the H genes. Perhaps Earth and Zigai scientists will solve this problem sometime in the distant future. According to the original plan, only descendants of Zygar with the H genes would have traveled. The room turned with Kathleen. The world went dark in front of her, and she could only hear the sound of the machine as a distant whisper. She didn't know how long she had been sitting in front of the machine, helpless and half fainting. By the time she looked at the screen again, the open windows had disappeared, as had her grandfather's face. Only a caption flickering in red letters. Hibernation in 11 minutes, jump in 71 minutes. Kathleen staggered into the central control room, shaking all over. Everyone was already there. Even Ted was an exception. They all stared in alarm at the huge screen that used to display a panorama of space, on which only a caption in red letters was now flashing. Hibernation in 1 minute. Jump in 61 minutes. Forgive me, Kathleen burst out crying. I don't, Judy shouted, her face red with anger. Her hand swung towards Kathleen, but the movement stopped short. The sleeping gas suddenly filled the room. Judy flinched with a fit of righteous indignation, the others with expressions of horror and incomprehension. The Madeira bots were fast. With expert movements, they picked up the limp bodies and placed them in the hibernators. The central control went blank. Only the red letters flashed on the screen. Jump in 60 minutes. 6 days later, the sun rose over the largest city of Zega. It lifted warm mists into the sky. Its light shimmered on the lakes in the parks, on the glass buildings of the huge city. The city shone quietly, like all cities on Ziga. Only the rustling of leaves and the singing of birds could be heard. The empty residential buildings were carefully cleaned and hermetically sealed. The production plants under the city, the utilities, the public transportation networks, the communication systems, the shops, the restaurants, the schools, the entertainment venues, the hospitals, the workplaces, all were in standby mode, waiting for someone to use them. Everything on the unpopulated Zegan awaited the return of the Savior expedition from Earth. A huge shadow fell over the city. The ship Colossus descended with dignified slowness onto the concrete of the spaceport. With deep bitterness in her heart, but ready and brave, Kathlon stepped out onto the land of Zig.